I've been working on really taking a step back and pausing and looking at how I serve my students. And from an equity perspective, I'm looking more at any implicit bias that I might have that I'm not aware of. And I think that it's really important to pause and take an honest look at how we serve our students and really understand that if there's a better way that we can serve our students, if the whole time we've been serving students, if maybe we can do it a better way, it doesn't mean that we're a bad educator, it doesn't mean that we didn't have the best of intentions. It means that we can do better.
One of our instructors here, Allison Herman, just put on the Human Library where people serve as quote-unquote books, and they have a story to tell. They determine the story they want to tell and they put themselves out there, and then other people come and they check out people as books, and they just sit and they hear the story and they have a conversation about it. To me, that's the sort of activity that just directly speaks to equity by just acknowledging the various stories that we all hold inside of us.
We know students of color are represented highly in online classes, but we still have equity gaps there, and we need to focus on that, and we need to do some things around training, around how we support the creation of new online classes, how we evaluate our classes equitably across the disciplines and the departments. And so I think that's an area that I'm looking forward to working on next year.
There's a tool called the Inquiry tool, and you can see by quarter, online or face-to-face, you can see the data and the success of those students. Like for example, winter 2019, after I started making some changes with equity, I had 75% of my Latinx students had high success, meaning they passed with a C or higher. So that means that those little changes that I made, for example, learning more about who my students are, empathizing with them, or any of those small little changes I made, I believe have made a huge difference.
We had our Career Now conference in May, which was a really beautiful all-day event, like a conference where students could be leaders, and it was really driven by the students. They designed the programs, they sat on a panel, they reached out to speakers, and just did a lot of the work for organizing that conference, so that was really exciting, and it went great.
Right now I have the opportunity to teach for the Puente program, which is a program that targets Latino students, Latinx students, and also celebrates Latinx culture. And one of the things that we're working on is an anthology of student memoirs. The students write a memoir of part of their life, and then we put it together in a book. And it's really important to the students because some of these students have never seen themselves even as college students, and let alone writers. And so when they come to the college, they always say, oh, I can't write. And it's a way to celebrate their lives so that they can really see that their lives and their voice are important.
So me being a Anza alum and my colleagues also being community college alums, we know what the journey looks like. We know how tough it can be, but we can also show our young men what it's like to actually make it through all of that. You know what I mean? And so that's the inspirational piece. The second piece that I think is important is showing them a clear path, so a very clear roadmap, and showing them a way that it's actually doable. This is not beyond them. So I think it's a two-part process, and I feel we've had a lot of success with that in our Men of Color program.
Building a plan for a college community to have more equitable outcomes for their students it's a lot of work, it's challenging, but it's a great way to bring departments and groups of folks together. It's a great way to see the energy and the passion that folks have about equity. And of course, ultimately, it's a way for us to really build something that's powerful and unique and a little bit maybe revolutionary for our students to be able to experience as Foothill College students. I think that we're on the brink of doing some really great things here at Foothill.